Hello and welcome to Snooker Podcast. Thanks for coming back, or if you're first time listeners, welcome to the show. Hello to our listeners on Spotify, hello to our viewers on YouTube.
Hello.
How are you, Benjamin?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. Good week of snooker.
Honestly, a really, really good week of snooker. Really good, quality snooker. Strange final.
Yes,
Strange final. Yeah. We're going to get into that, though. But, yeah, honestly, thanks for listening. We're going to take you through everything that happened in the Players' Championship. We're going to chat a little bit about the Tour Championship, which is coming up in Manchester soon. And we've got some stat blasts for you. If you're into your stats, we're going to get into it as well. Pew, pew! The place I'd like to start, if that's okay, with obviously talking about the Players' Championship. It's not surprising what I'm going to say, but so basically the Players' Championship was the top 16 players in the 1 year list. The Johnston's Paint 1 year list. So, like a reward at the end of the season for the 16 best performers that season, they get to go to the Players' Championship and try and earn even more money. Obviously, we know Kyron Wilson came away with the £150,000.
Yeah.
Even after winning £150,000, he's still over £500,000 behind Judd Trump.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
It's like genuinely nuts. £500,000 ahead in the rankings.
That is massive.
That's
isn't it?
more than most people have in the rankings.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing I wanted to say is, in the first, pretty much in every game, but we'll get onto the games that it didn't happen in, the underdog lost every single game. I don't know if you noticed, I was looking through, and if you look through on like WST and you go through, it gives you the ranking next to the player. And so Williams beat Ding, 5 in the world versus 9th in the world. Karen Wilson beat Mark Allen. Robertson versus Bingham. Robertson won. Selby beat Si Jiahui. Trump versus Li Paifan. Murphy beat Hawkins. That was the closest. That's 11 versus 12, but Murphy still won. Higgins beat Chris Wakelin. And Xiao Guodong beat Wu Yize. That is every single person who was higher ranked in their game winning their game, which you do not see very often. Usually there's at least like one upset. Now, none of it was actually going to be an upset because they're the top 16 players this year.
Yeah, exactly.
And that continued on. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Anyone can beat anyone, but not anyone beat anyone this time. This was very much the higher ranked player played better. And in the quarterfinal, Wilson beat Williams. Trump beat Murphy 6-0. Higgins beat Xiao Guodong. The only one which was an upset, or I say upset in inverted commas, was Neil Robertson beating Selby. And considering Neil Robertson had just won in China,
I think it's a stretch to call it an upset.
Exactly, it's not an upset. And then we get to the semi-finals. Kyron Wilson beating Robertson and Trump versus Higgins. That's pretty much exactly how we expected that to go.
Yeah.
And then, again, I'm not going to call Kyron Wilson beating Judd Trump an upset. Do you know what I mean? It was a very straight-down-the-barrel tournament. Everything that you thought would happen kind of happened. Nonetheless, very exciting.
Yeah, some excellent snooker in there. Very entertaining.
That was your recap of the week.
It was we both watched the final. We were texting as we were watching.
Yeah, man.
Very entertaining.
Tag your snooker buddy that you text while the snooker's on, because mine is Ben, and we messaged. There was some strange stuff going on. I've never been more convinced of Kyron Wilson being a bad boy.
Yeah.
Such a bad boy. Banana
during play.
Just eating a banana.
And I think it was it was friend of the pod, Dave Hendon on comms.
Yeah, friend of the pod.
He said, and he mentioned you're not allowed to bring food in except bananas.
What? Where's that rule come from? Apparently Neil Robertson a few years ago got told off. Not allowed food.
Bananas.
I wonder why.
You're allowed bananas.
I wonder why. That is genuinely strange. Now, there's actually just going back onto the Players' Championship, there's a few things to talk about. The first one, I mean, it literally was the first one, when Mark Williams beat Ding in the first round. I don't know if you saw this, Ben. He came out and said, I'm as shocked as you are because I can't see anything. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see that.
Basically, he's come out and said literally, when he gets down, he used to say he struggled to see some of the long putts sometimes, but now his eyes have deteriorated. It's actually not a laughing matter, really. His eyes have deteriorated so much over the last 6 months or so. I mean, he's just turned 50. That he now can barely see the red in front of him. He can barely see the cue ball. He's just sort of playing off instinct. So how he beat Ding 6-2 in that was more of a shock to him than anything. And I mean, even against Karen Wilson, he still got 3 frames.
Yeah.
But I hope he said he's going to try and sort something out after Sheffield. So I don't want to write him off, but it looks like
it seems unlikely if you can't.
It seems unlikely that he's going to be. Yeah, exactly. If you can't see the ball, that was the first story. Mark Allen's woes continue against Karen Wilson. I
was surprised by Mark Allen. Actually, I thought he played better. He played better than I was expecting him to play.
He hit a century, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Considering his attitude going into the tournament, saying that he just didn't really want to be there. I thought he played a lot better than I thought.
Because I'm pretty sure, is he in? No, he's not in the next one.
No, so we won't see him again till
so he's got a rest. Yeah, exactly. Next time we'll see him is Crucible. And then the other sort of story that caught the headlines a little bit was the balls.
Yeah, I was confused about the balls in the final.
Twice they were changed. Well, it wasn't actually. It's not the balls at all. It's the ball. It was
the
cue
ball.
ball.
It was it was the cue ball.
If you didn't watch the final, if you didn't watch the final, they were having genuine problems with the cue ball. And the problem I was thinking about this before. Imagine hitting a shot. So like deep screw, right? Hitting a shot, and the cue ball doesn't do what you thought it was going to do, ish. Most people are going, nah, it didn't quite get into that enough. But because of the caliber of player, it was Judd Trump versus Karen Wilson. They knew it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Judd Trump was. It is. I mean, the talent even on show to know when the white ball is not quite performing right. It was. They said it was too light, so it was bouncing off cushions a bit too much, and it clearly got in Judd Trump's head a little bit.
Yeah, he described it as being like a ping pong ball at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Which
I've decided
that must be.
I've decided that's my new excuse now when I play snooker. I'm just going to take the ball back to the bar in the snooker club and just like, have you got another cue ball? Come on, it's a joke. It's just not reacting right.
No, it's not doing what I wanted to. But I thought that was impressive. That it was quite a nice little bit of sportsmanship where Karen Wilson sort of played a shot. And it didn't quite do what he wanted it to, and he sort of shook his head and then looked at Judd and he was like... And then Judd got up out of his seat and said, this happened to me before. Like, kind of like justified in his... Like, he thought he was almost going a bit mad, and he was like, no, this happened to me before, and I thought it was weird. So then they got the ball changed, and then it didn't get any better, strangely.
I've got to admit, I was watching that, and I didn't quite pick up straight away what was the matter. So to me, it just looked like Karen Wilson was picking a fight. And then Judd gets out of his seat. I thought, this is getting tasty, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
getting tasty in Telford.
Nice. I enjoyed that. Actually, both of them. Every single time I hear Judd Trump speak, and I know he's the world number one, and he's press trained and all that sort of stuff, he comes across as such a lovely guy.
He does, yeah. No, very genuine.
He really does, and so does Karen Wilson. But Judd Trump is like sort of humbleness personified almost. Yeah. He's like, considering he is the best player in the world, and he is. He just really does come across well, and he was a very humble loser, and it must be really difficult to talk to a camera.
I was thinking that,
you just lost a game.
You just lost the final,
get in there, don't they?
And straight away, there's a camera and a microphone in your face. You probably
just lose a final. It was 10-9.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just like the loss had been on the cards for a while. Also, he the way the final went was a strange final because of this cue ball stuff. 1 century. You would not believe that out of the two of them.
Yeah.
1 century in 19 frames. There was a stage at the start of the evening session where Judd Trump was missing a lot. And when I say a lot, They both had like 92% pot rates.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
he was missing more than Judd Trump usually misses. It wasn't a one visit frame win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a few frames back to back where they both had 3 or 4 attempts to try and get the frame one. And then Judd Trump showed up.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, there was a 80 or 70 clearance, and then there was a century. And then that was to take it to 9-9, and you're thinking, right, he's got this. And then Karen Wilson just showed his bottle.
Yeah. It was exactly the sort of snooker you want to see, because they both went for everything. They didn't turn any shots down. They didn't necessarily pop them all, so it meant that they were letting each other in.
Yeah.
Quite often. And,
yeah, but that's not. I mean, it's really fun to watch, though.
And it was, and the frame time was really. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it was, it was quick
short.
Frames. It was.
Also, they were
really
both.
Good.
I mean, they were 20 and 22. Judd was 20, and Karen was 22 on the shot clock, which is so fast for a final. So fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good tournament. The crowd was really good. It looked like a really nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
Credit to Telford for anyone that listened to our
I fear we have to retract a lot of what we said about Telford.
No, it looks like a real good. I mean, it looked like a really good tournament, and Telford, they did Telford proud.
That's what you get in Shropshire's biggest town.
That's what you get in Shropshire's biggest town. That is what you get.
They've got a swagger that just can't be replicated in other small Shropshirean towns.
Shropshirean.
Also, take it to Shrewsbury and it's not the same.
Worth saying, the semi-finals, so Wilson, Robertson, Trump and Higgins, was the first time in 6 years, I want to say, I think it was 6 years, that the top 4 seeds had got to the semi-finals.
Whoa.
Yeah, all the top 4 seeds of that tournament, Wilson, Trump, Robertson, Higgins, all got to the semi-final, which proves my point, again, about everyone won that was meant to win. Do you know what I mean? They all just sort of filtered, and then it went even further than that. It was 1 and 2 in the final, so really interesting. But yeah, so should we talk about Judd Trump for a second?
Let's do exactly that.
Because even though he lost, I feel more inclined to talk about Judd Trump than I do. I mean, first of all, 6-0 against Sean Murphy, mental.
Yeah.
Like, also a very good 6-0 as well. Murphy played okay. Murphy got like 40 points or something in that whole game. But like, Judd Trump was just too good. Far too good. I've actually made a bit of a table for any stat fans out there. I'll pop it up on screen. This table,
it's Stat Blast time.
Stat Blast time from Isaac. So if you like your stats and you like your snooker, this is the place to be. The Stat Blast this year is I mean stats in snooker are really difficult to find because you have to really scour through the databases of the games and stuff to actually find this sort of stuff. So I hope you appreciate what I'm about to tell you, because this took me a while to put together. Basically, what I'm trying to get across, I want to know, and I wanted to know, what all the, again, inverted commas, best players ever had won at the age of 35. So Judd Trump is 35. And he has won 30 ranking titles.
It's a lot.
2, this is what we're ranking it on. So we're going ranking titles, Masters titles, because Masters are unranked, so they should be added in.
Yeah.
And then world titles within your ranking titles.
Yeah.
So Judd Trump has 1 world title, we know that. 2 Masters titles and 30 ranking titles. Now, let's just compare that to a 35-year-old Steve Davis in 1992. He had 23 ranking titles, so Judd wins. 2 Masters titles, so level with Judd. But he had 6 world titles. That's where, Steve and Tristan Davis takes it. But let's do Ronnie O'Sullivan, right? 22 ranking titles, so 8 less than Judd Trump has now at 35. So I'm going to go as far as to say, before they've even gone, Ronnie O'Sullivan is the greatest player after the age of 35, hands down. He's won more after the age of 35 than anyone else has.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's a particularly bold statement. He is the greatest snooker player of all time.
He is, but stats-wise, as much as he is, it's not far off from Stephen Hendry. Like, Stephen Hendry's very close.
No, yeah.
And Stephen Hendry arguably dominated more. So, like, there's an argument to be had that some people might think Stephen Hendry was better in their prime. But what I'm saying is, once they've gone over 35, Ronnie O'Sullivan won another 4 world titles.
Yeah, well, he's...
Like, that's nuts. That's genuinely nuts. The comparison I can think of is Jimmy Anderson. His average as a test match bowler before the age of 30 was more than his average was after the age of 30. So, like, you know, experience really does come into those sort of things. And speaking of Hendry, the most ranking titles ever won before the age of 35, 34 ranking titles he won before the age of 35.
So
6
really,
titles.
That is a lot, yeah.
I know that is a lot, and also 7 world titles.
Yeah.
But, you know, still. So, Judd Trump is right up there. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
And with that, you need to take into account as well the fact that he's been competing with Ronnie for a lot of those titles.
Yeah, he lost a good point.
He lost the world championship final to him. I'm pretty sure he's lost a couple other ranking titles to him.
Yeah, definitely. He's lost a fair few. He's been in a lot of finals, don't get me wrong.
And so, you know, it's testament to, again, like you mentioned, the longevity of Ronnie O'Sullivan's career, but it's also it's important to take that into account when you're comparing Judd Trump to the other top players.
What I mean is, when you are watching games like that last night, especially and the quarterfinal was 6-0 against Murphy. When you're watching stuff like that, when you're watching the 5-0 against Hossein Vafai in the World Open, stuff like that, and you sit back and you go, this guy is right up there, up there with the best.
How old is Kyron Wilson?
I'm not going to tell you because I want to do later on.
Yes,
so stick around for the later. Basically a higher or lower, but with snooker players' ages.
Play your cards right.
I play your cards right with.
Let's have it. Play your cues right.
Play your cues right. Yeah, and we're going to do that in a bit. Where because actually I think snooker players are really difficult to age sometimes. Like really difficult.
Yeah, I think that as well. I was having this conversation with my dad. We were watching the final on the first session, and he asked, like, how long has Kyron Wilson been about? Is he?
Yeah.
And I found myself thinking, I actually don't know how old he is.
I haven't got a clue. Yeah. Kyron Wilson actually dropped off the tour at one point, which I find hard. Isn't that mad to think? But yeah, that was my little stat blast. I hope you enjoyed it.
Let me just wipe my glasses because I've been blasted by stats.
The only reason I actually put those stats together is I was genuinely just intrigued, and it didn't say it anywhere else, what Ronnie O'Sullivan had achieved by the time he was 35. And now we know. 22 ranking titles, 4 master titles, and 3 world titles, where Judd has 30 ranking titles.
Yeah.
2 master titles and 1 world title. So, you know, Judd Trump, definitely, the clear thing there is that Judd Trump should really have won more world titles.
So what was Ronnie on again? 22 ranking titles.
22 ranking titles, and Judd's 30.
How many worlds?
3 for Sullivan by the time he was 35, but only 1 for Trump.
Okay. Well, I'm 23. That's 12 years.
As we've said in the previous pod, that you feel like, you know, there's a bit of natural
big things happened last week, Isaac. Big things.
Please tell me. I played snooker today, actually.
I, for the first time ever, won a frame.
No way. I mean, that is a low standard if you've never won a frame.
I mean, first one playing on it. I've only recently become a member of this snooker club and started going like once a week. With my mate.
It's so fun.
And you know, he batters me quite regularly. He puts together sort of. I think he's broke over 20. His
highest break? I've never. Whoa!
I think it's over 20.
Shit.
But I mean, I won this frame, and it wasn't. I'll be honest. It wasn't a sort of.
Was it a one visit win?
It was some distance from a one visit win. It went down. It went down to the black ball, and
nice.
And he left it.
But
over
not
the
in
pocket.
the type of way that like pros do. It's 60 all.
Put it this way, I had the same reaction to potting that black ball and winning the frame as Dennis Taylor did when he did it in '85 against Steve Davis. I was cue in the air, going for it.
That's good.
I'm
happy for you, mate.
I was on cloud 9 for hours afterwards. I was on the bus home, absolutely buzzing.
Really thrilled for you.
So there we go. That's a step towards. Let's call it Project 35. By the age of 35, I'll have won a world
cool.
title.
That genuinely sounds quite cool. It's actually really uncool, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, by the age of 35, I'll have won a world title.
Project 35, can he win a world title? Yeah. I'm going to put my eggs firmly in one basket and say no. I feel like they just start so young these days.
No, they do,
top 16 will be 80% Chinese and you'll have no chance.
Yeah, I know.
You'll have no chance. When will we see the first Chinese world champion, though? And moving on to Chinese influence, I would like to talk about something that Steve Hendry talked about in the news. And actually, I phrased that absolutely awful. I'd like to talk about something that Stephen Hendry said on ITV. It was a cool little interview. He made it look really cool. Stephen Hendry explains fear of snooker going to the Middle East. Now, this is an article on Snooker HQ.
Yes,
so friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, Snooker HQ.
Friend of the pod, indeed. Head over if you love reading about snooker. If you want sort of, I'm going to say, 3 times a week updates on different articles and the most important things going on around snooker, and also an in-depth update on the rankings post-tournaments. That's the best thing that I think they do. It's really good, and they just tell you everything you need to know about what's coming up. And if you want to go over it, you can subscribe. Just pop your email in. It's totally free, and they don't bombard you or anything. They just send you in. There's been a new post, and they're really good. That's snookerhq.com. And this was Stephen Hendry talking about his sort of fears of the World Championships going to somewhere like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
He said it was more the fear of the crowds, I think, was more his point. He's not denying that the fees and the World Championship prize money would probably go up to like 2 million.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange? I mean, in this article, it talks about how the is it the Saudi Arabia Masters? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Saudi Arabia Masters, the top prize
pot.
It's for 500 grand. The same as the World
Championships. That's quite strange. That is strange. That not many sports have that. The World Championships.
I think that's wrong.
Yes, I agree.
I think the World Championship has to be
technically the top prize. Yeah, and it's not the top prize. The 167 is the top prize, and that's $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit. He rightly calls it gimmicky.
Yeah.
But it is. But we should do a 167 video.
How does it work? Do you
make a 147?
And then they stick a golden ball on it.
No, the gold ball's there from the very beginning, and it sits just behind the yellow, like at the back of the baulk cushion, against the cushion. It sits right in the back, so it doesn't get in the way of play at all, really. And as soon as a 147 is not possible anymore, so basically like when you put in a pink or something, it's taken off the table. But if a 147 is made, and then you pot the final black, get up to the gold ball, and pot the gold ball, the gold ball's worth 20 points. Okay. So that's a 167. That's £1 million. No one's done it yet. Someone will. Someone will do it.
I mean, the money's got to be on Ronnie, hasn't it?
My money's on Sean Murphy. That man makes 147.
Oh, he does actually.
And he seems to be very good at it as well. I don't know what it is about his.
I saw. I think it was interviewed with the BBC once. He claimed to be the only person ever to have done a 147, a 9-dart finish, and a hole-in-one.
Well, this actually came to fruition.
I'm gonna say it. Sounds like bullshit.
At least once an episode, you call something out for being bullshit. Last time it was Telford being the biggest town in Shropshire. You thought it had to be Shrewsbury.
I thought it had to be Shrewsbury.
You went bullshit. That's Shrewsbury. But this time it's Sean Murphy. Which one of the three don't you think he's done? He's hit a televised 147, so we know that's true.
We know that's true.
The 9. I feel like you can fluke. No offense to any golfers.
Can you fluke?
And I really. Yeah. You can fluke a hole in one, and I mean that with all the best intention in the world, because I'm shit at golf. I understand how hard golf is, but. Also, there is a world where someone fluked it. Like, that's just true. You can't fluke a 9-darter. That's the problem with that.
Well, of the three, I'd say the 147 is by far the hardest.
Oh, no, that's not in question. The 147 is... comment down if you disagree. I think the 147 is hardest. It's actually interesting that we've not got onto this sooner, because this is quite a big... And they did... I don't know if you saw it. Emma Payton was there. They had a snooker table, a dartboard... Also, I play a lot of darts. Like, I genuinely do play a lot of darts. And I've got more chance of hitting a 9-darter than I do a 147.
Yeah.
That's the sort of standard. That's a generalisation of my talents. But, like, I've hit 180s and stuff. I still think a 147
You've hit a 180?
Mate, I've hit in... Oh, no, I'm quite good at darts. I've hit 10, 15 180s. Genuinely, I stopped counting after I hit about 10.
No, Billy Big Bollocks over there.
In the other day, check these out. Anyone on YouTube, anyone on Spotify, I'm sorry for this. These little shout out were my great granddad's darts.
No way. That's so cool.
They were my great granddad's darts. He passed away recently. I think he was 96, 97. But these were his darts. They're absolutely huge. They didn't come with the target flights on which I put on them. Yeah. But they're absolutely massive. And I hit a 180 with them the other day, and I thought, that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my point is, they had the dartboard. I'll put some emotional music over that or something. They had a dartboard, a snooker table, and some golfers somewhere that no one was really paying much attention to. But Sean Murphy and Mark Williams were trying to hit a 147, and Luke Humphreys and Michael Van Gerwen were trying to hit a 9-darter. And lo and behold, and it was basically who can do the hardest thing in their sport first. Yeah. And Sean Murphy hit a 147. Of course he did.
I will say this. I'd like to see Sean Murphy hit a 147 at the Riverside.
Yeah.
With the whole crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd do it?
That'd be amazing. Yeah, I think he could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
He seems like he'd sort of get into it.
Yeah, I think so. And he apparently he has not hit one, but 2 different 9-darters. 2. So there's one that he hit years ago, apparently, in a pub somewhere.
You see, no. If it happened years ago in a pub, anything can happen years ago in a pub.
I agree with you. Anything can happen in a pub years ago. And then there's one that's filmed on his phone where you can see him throwing and also see the dartboard, but there's just something dodgy about it. Do you know what snooker player is also a very good darts player?
Neil Robertson.
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams.
Really good darts player. Yeah. He went on Wayne Mardle's little podcast thing, threw some darts. Nearly hit a 180 on his first try. Really good darts player. But, I think the 147 thing is harder. And what's harder than a 147? A 167.
Yes.
I dropped my pen.
Yeah. Lovely little segue back to what we were supposed to be talking about there.
Yeah, how did we get onto that?
Oh, me. It's undoubtedly my fault, isn't it?
Back onto the Middle East.
Yes.
So he was talking... What a fucking segue that was. I know. They should get me on a radio show.
Professional.
No, he was talking about the crowds. That was kind of his biggest point. That's all he's got, really. That's the only thing Sheffield has, really, at the moment, is that people seem to show up. But of course they do. There's only 900 seats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and also, snooker is increasingly becoming a global sport. So I don't think there's any doubt that a world championship will have to move.
Where to is the question. Where to,
I mean,
buddy?
my argument would be it being like a sort of World Cup kind of thing, where it's it's not a set venue.
Nice. I like the
I
sound
think
of
that would work
do.
quite well.
Yeah, I guess, but also, it's worked very well staying in the same location.
It has, yeah.
So is the darts. I mean, the Ali Pali's like boom, it's staying there. No one's moving that. But the darts has got a huge capacity. That's why no one's saying that. I just think, I'm not saying I want it to go up to like 5,000 people. I just think it needs to go up to 1,500, 2,000. Keep it in Sheffield. Surely there's another place in Sheffield that they could.
Well, I think Barry Hearn's. I think Barry Hearn has asked for a while been asking them to build something. Yeah.
But he's Stephen Hendry's saying that the as much as the Middle Eastern influence for the players is great, the money, all of that sort of stuff. Do you really want like empty stadium, not stadium, but empty sort of venue while some sessions, early on sessions, so the 17 days is a long time to fill somewhere out, and the Crucible can guarantee that.
Yeah, and you look at who's going to the Crucible every year. Guaranteed, you do have people going from all around the world.
Yeah,
but
every year there will be more people on English, I imagine.
But like Barry from the snooker club's not going to buy a ticket to Saudi Arabia, is he?
No, that's true. And also, I'm not sure. I don't know what the audiences are going to be like if it went to Saudi Arabia. Is there as much interest as there is in the UK? Just not sure.
I don't think there. I think it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger everywhere in the world. But
it's getting bigger.
But there's no. The difference between, for example, China is
China.
You've got top 16
definitely.
Chinese players.
Yeah.
You've got got
exactly.
big stars of Chinese snooker like Ding Zhonghui and other younger Chinese players. You don't have any.
Yeah.
You don't have. I can't name a Saudi Arabian snooker player.
If there are any, I apologise, but they're not on the top of my head. I can't think of any.
No.
And that's the point, isn't it? And actually, speaking of the top 16 players, let's move on to what the rankings are looking like for Sheffield, because it's actually it's getting a bit strange.
Yeah, because we have the Tour Championship coming up, and after that it's the Crucible, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically, whoever's in the top 16 after the Tour Championship, you go into the Crucible, guys.
Well, the top 16 is set, isn't it? Because the Tour Championship is the top 12.
No.
Right?
See, Ben, that's where you're wrong.
Ah.
So the top 16. Right, let me get an example. The top 16 is not set because the Tour Championship is the top 12 of the 1 year list.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So, for example, someone like Xiao Gudong, maybe? Or let me find a good example. Maybe you're right. Everyone that's in the top 16 might be a top 12 player in this year as well. That is almost unfortunate because it makes it less exciting.
Yes, the only one would be Ali Carter's 16th in the world at the moment.
Not for long. Not for long.
Yeah, no one below.
Do you know why?
That.
He was in this 2 years ago.
Because we've got players like Chris Wakelin who are in the top 16 this year, who are 20th in the 2 years.
Yes, exactly. No, the thing with Ali Carter is it's unfortunate is he needed to qualify for this Tour Championship basically, and he hasn't. So he has, by the looks of it, 20 grand dropping off of his ranking on the 30th of March.
Yeah,
and that 20 grand dropping off his ranking means not only does Gary Wilson go above him into 17th, but the surprise, no one saw it coming really. Seeding for the World Championship is it looks like Jack Jones is going to be 16th in the world come Sheffield, which is honestly quite strange. Like,
it is a bit of a surprise, but he made the final last year, didn't he? So yes, I imagine that contributes a lot to his.
A lot. What's the fee for coming second in the World Championships?
I mean,
is it $250?
I mean, it's a tidy sum, isn't it?
It's 200 or 250, and he's on 374. So either way, it's over half.
Yeah,
it's over half of his yearly winning. 2 yearly winnings is that one tournament. So yeah, getting to the final of the World Championships, and he wasn't a seed when he did that, so that's really helped him out. So the top 16 at the moment, in reverse order, is looking like Jack Jones, 15th by the skin of his bloody teeth. What's that saying? Skin of his teeth? Yeah, skin of his teeth. Sean Murphy, which wasn't looking that likely at one point. Then the trio, Zhao Guodong, Si Jiahui, and Zhang Anda. And then Barry Hawkins, Ding Junhui, Neil Robertson, Mark Allen, Luca Brissell. John Higgins is now 6th in the world.
Yeah.
Mark Williams. Ronnie. Also, there's something really nice about 6th in the world, John Higgins, 5th in the world, Mark Williams, and 4th in the world, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Yeah. They're still there.
Yeah.
They're still there. And then Mark Selby, Karen Wilson, and Judd Trump. So that's looking like the seedings for the Crucible at the moment. The only difference in the 1 year list for people that are going is... Wu Yi's is in the top 12 for that, basically. Yeah. Closely peaking Chris Wakelin to a spot in that, which could have got him into the World Champs. Chris Wakelin's had a great season.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Absolutely awesome season. So is Stuart Bingham, actually, in all things considered. But yeah, that's what the rankings are looking like. And the Tour Championship, we talked about this last week. We said that it looks like Luke Litter and Michael Van Gerwen are just constantly playing. You know, in sports, there's just two people or two teams that just are constantly playing each other. Guess who's got each other in the first round of the Tour Championship?
Go on.
Barry Hawkins and Sean Murphy. Again.
And
I'm sick of seeing them play. I feel like they're constantly playing each other. Like, constantly. Do you think
they ever get like an old married couple of that? I think we should see other people.
Oh, look at us. Also, it's not particularly great for Barry Hawkins. He seems... In my head, they always play, and Barry Hawkins always kind of plays well and loses. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But the strange thing about the Tour Championship is... So it's 12 players. But Judd Trump, John Higgins, Neil Robertson, and Karen Wilson, as the top 4 seeds, have buys through to the second round. So that we won't see them until the second round. And the first 4 ties are Sean Murphy versus Barry Hawkins, Zhao Guodong versus Wu Yi's, Mark Selby versus Si Jiahui, and Mark Williams versus Ding, which are the exact same draws.
Yeah.
Like the exact same draws as the tournament that's just been. Let me look. I didn't even notice that. Ding and Williams, yeah. Selby and Si Jiahui. That's a bit boring, WST.
Is it based on rankings?
I mean, it is, but I would argue make it not based on rankings then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
FA Cup style.
FA Cup
Get an
style,
ex-pro and a celebrity to dip their hand in a velvet bag.
Who are your ex-pros and your celebrities that you want doing?
I don't. Have you seen the video of Rod Stewart doing the draw for the Scottish Cup?
Yes.
Where he sort of dips his hand into the bowl like a sort of crane, like that, and then enthusiastically just goes to the camera and goes, "Number 4." I want it like that. That's what I want.
We want Rod Stewart.
I want
Rod Stewart likes his snooker.
Yeah,
ex-pro.
Does.
I feel like Rod Stewart and Steve Davis will get along.
I think they would. Yeah, I want Rod Stewart and Steve Davis to do the draw. Yeah, and for it to be on BBC One after the One show.
Yeah, that feels so right.
Yeah,
that feels so good. Right, enough about rankings, schmankings.
Yes, yeah.
Let's move on to a game.
It's time
for
a
game we've put together. It's a play-along game at home, guys.
Yes,
I'm going to name a snooker player, and I want you to, give me their age. So let's start, and then once we've had one, I'll name another player, and I want you to say like higher or lower, and then also guess an age.
Easy. Yeah, it's play your cards right, play your cues right, as I've named it.
Play your cues right. It's simple. Everyone knows play your cues,
I'm disappointed,
right?
Isaac, that you're not wearing a sparkly tuxedo.
For this, yeah. A game show host.
But I'll let you
We've
on.
had some good games on this pod. You haven't seen our starting 11s for our Snooker FC teams, please go and find that video. I'll put the link at the end.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Should we enter into...
We're starting.
Guess your cues right.
Guess your cues right.
Let's play your cues right, actually.
Play your cues right.
Yeah. I'm not a vocalist.
Play your cues right, yeah. Right, okay.
Right,
Jack Jones.
Jack Jones.
I just need you to guess his age first.
Any
you get right, I'll be impressed. That's just... See how many you can get right.
He looks like... I feel like he looks like a trainee teacher who looks younger than he is.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to guess he's 34.
Man, 31.
31. Jack
31.
Jones is 31, okay.
Next up, higher or lower? Luca Brissell.
Luca Brissell. Younger. Yeah.
And I'll have an age, please.
27?
No, 30.
Oh, he's 30. Huh?
But he is younger. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Chris Wakelin.
Older.
Age, please.
38.
33.
Oh God.
I feel really bad, actually. I didn't realise how offensive this could be. I didn't think you'd be that far off on Chris Wakelin. Right. Okay. Judd Trump. We've talked about this.
Judd Trump is older then. Cause he's,
35.
Yeah.
Karen Wilson.
No, because I asked you, I'm not entirely sure how old he is. But I'm going to say that Kyron Wilson is younger than 35.
33. Correct.
33.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Gary Wilson.
I'm doing all right so far.
Yeah, you are. I'm not sure you've actually got one wrong yet.
Apart from Chris Wakelin's age.
Yeah, but you were still right. He was old.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
Gary Wilson. Also, someone, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, commented on our Spotify. We mentioned why isn't there any snooker in Newcastle last week, and then mentioned briefly that we couldn't think of a Geordie.
Yeah, Gary Wilson.
Gary Wilson is Geordie, and thank you for whoever that
Actually,
was.
Gary Wilson is doing a exhibition at the snooker club I play at.
No way.
Yeah, I think so. I think in April, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to go or not. So,
God, you got to go on Cueless business.
I probably do actually. I'll see what date it is, but I'm away in April a bit, so we'll see.
All right, okay.
Right, Gary Wilson.
So, yeah, Gary Wilson. The last one we had was Karen Wilson, 33. Gary Wilson.
Gary, I'm going to say is older.
Yeah, he is. Give me an age.
36.
39.
39.
I know, he's looking good.
39. He is looking good.
It's the beard, man. It's the beard. Right. Gary Wilson, 39.
Okay.
Ding,
I'm going to say is older. Oh, no.
Ding is 37.
He's 37.
And actually, sorry, Ding, I thought you were older than that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It just feels like he's been around for quite a while, doesn't it? But then I suppose
long. But I think he turned pro when he was like 16.
Yeah.
Ding, 37. Selby.
Mark Selby's older than that, surely.
Yeah. Selby's 41. Neil Robertson.
Neil Robertson is younger than 41.
Yeah? Give me an age.
I'll go same as Ding, 37.
Yeah, Neil Robertson's 43.
No, he is not.
I know.
He is
That's
not.
That's the shocker of this play your cues, right?
Neil Robertson is 43.
He's one of the best looking 43-year-olds in the world.
That is
fantastic.
Outrageous, that is. That's outrageous.
I know, isn't it? He looks good.
He does look good, yeah. I think he looks a bit like a kookaburra.
Yeah, you've said this before.
I think have I said it before?
Keep going with it.
Well, he does.
Sean Murphy.
Put a picture on the screen of a kookaburra and Neil Robertson.
Will do.
And you'll see what I mean.
Kookaburra.
And I mean that as a
Neil
compliment.
Robertson. Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy, older
than Neil Robertson.
Yeah.
So give me an age.
I'm gonna guess 45.
Yeah, Sean Murphy's 42. He's actually younger than Neil Robertson.
Really?
You're really starting to fuck him up now. Right. Barry Hawkins.
If he's not older, then
Then what? Then he's not looking good. Is that what you meant?
I just think he looks so much like a dad.
Yeah.
And
he does.
I'd say I'd put him at. I'm gonna say he's 43.
He's 45, Barry Hawkins.
I was gonna say.
Right
I'll tell you. I was gonna say 45, but I didn't want to risk another Wakeling gate.
Okay. Stuart Bingham.
Stuart Bingham. I'd say we're reaching a sort of similar age. Is he older or younger? I'm gonna say he's. Have you thrown a curveball in? Is he the same age?
Bingham? You think he's the same age?
Yeah.
A rare same age. No. He's 48, Bingham.
He's 48.
Yeah.
Stuart Bingham is the age I thought Chris Wakeling was.
Wait, you thought Chris Wakeling was 48?
What did I say it was?
38.
He's 33. 38, not 40.
You know, you're digging that grave even deeper.
I hope Chris Wakeling doesn't listen.
Ali Carter.
Ali Carter. He used to practice with Ronnie, didn't he? I think.
Yeah. So
I'm going to guess he's probably a similar age, but maybe a bit younger. I'm going to guess he's 48. I know Bingham's 48.
Go in.
He looks very, very good.
Yeah. Okay.
47.
But does he look good for his age, or he just looks good?
Well, I don't know what his age is.
Big difference. Exactly.
47. I'm going to say he's a year
45.
Younger. Okay, 45. So that's right. He's younger.
And he's younger than Bingham. Right. Last few. Stephen Maguire.
Older.
Than Ali Carter?
Yeah.
Age, please.
48.
No, he's 44. Dickhead.
Did you just come up with this game to make me look like an absolute arsehole?
Let's see how many sticker players we can offend. Right, not many left. Right. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ronnie O'Sullivan's older than that. He's 49, 50.
49.
Yeah.
Graham Dott.
I mean, he's got to be older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say 52.
He's 47.
God. You're a dickhead.
It's one of my favourite things we've ever done.
You're a dick.
It's just so far off. Right.
Oh my god.
47, Graham Dott. Robert Milkins. Milkman.
He looks older. He looks...
It's so offensive. It's not.
I just realised I said he looks older. Oh my god. Oh. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning into the last episode of Cueless.
It really is funny. Robert Milkins, older or younger than Graham Dott?
God, younger.
And you just played it safe.
Yeah.
That's all you've done there. You don't know. You actually don't care anymore. You just don't want to offend anyone else.
Fine, he's older. I think he's 48.
Yeah, he is. He's older. He's 49. Well played. Yeah. Always guess under. Okay. Oh man, not many left. Dominic Dale.
Oh, chuck me an easy one. Dominic Dale's. I mean, he's retiring, isn't he? Yeah. He played Jimmy White a couple of times. I'm going to say he's younger because I do not want to say a word against that.
Oh yeah, it's just a pure safe. That's safety.
Fact,
that's granite.
He does look younger than Robert Milkins as well, I'd say.
Nice. So you're saying younger than? Even see what you've done there is tried to be nice to Dominic Dale, but all you've done is piled more shit on Robert Milkins.
Oh, Robert Milkins can take it.
Yeah, he can.
He'd understand.
So you're going younger, Dominic Dale.
Yeah, I'll say he's 47.
Okay, he's 53.
He's 53. Okay.
He looks very good for it. Last but not least, sort of anticlimactically, Mark Williams, and we know he's just turned 50.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit. You are.
What a game! You could come up with the next game if you want. Well, I thought that was a good one.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna think of something brutal for you. That was horrible.
Right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It's the last episode of Cueless with Ben on.
Yeah, I'm going to go and dig myself a big hole and sort of just sort of wither to death at the bottom of it.
What were the worst ones? The worst one was Chris Wakelin.
Chris Wakelin was a bad one, and just
Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy, you said was Neil Robertson was really came off well in that.
Yeah.
Who else came off bad? It was just mainly the shit was just poured on Robert Milkins.
Yeah, I just kept for some reason.
As soon as I said his name,
I just kept saying how old Robert Milkins looked.
As soon as I said Robert Milkins, you just went, he looks old. But by saying he looks old, you almost admitted the fact that you knew he wasn't. You knew he looked older than he is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You've dug your
Graham
own hole
Dott
there.
didn't come off well.
Graham Dott, man. Yeah, how 53s. Also, Graham Dott shocked me, though, I'll be honest. I didn't think he was younger than Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Next week, I'm going to come to this record
tell me a new one.
with an absolute... I don't know what it's going to be yet, but...
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, that's what you can look forward to, guys. Ben's going to tear me a new one in next week's episode. This should be coming out on Wednesday evening, but we're chatting just the day after Sunday. I was about to say.
Yeah, the day after
Monday, Isaac. They gave it a name.
The day after Sunday.
The day after the final is what I meant.
Yeah.
So this will be out on Wednesday. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe. Thank you for listening if you're on Spotify. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in again.
If you got this far in, just comment down just to let us know how far you got. Just comment something along the lines of Robert Milkins is an old fart.
You're a shit bag, you are.
Yeah, but thank you. We'll see you next week.
Well, yeah, I hope to see you again next week. If I've,
Yeah, you will. Ben will be here. We'll give him a chance to redeem himself. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yes,
Goodbye.
thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye.